Hey, it's Juicy Justine
and Anecia, Earth Creature.
and we're here today to do the
Dark Sides of Vegan Junk Food podcast.
Ooh. We've been meaning to make this video for a couple months now.
Yes.
And Anecia has done some research on vegan junk food here. And
I've done some research, and I mean, thank you so much, Justine, for having me on your amazing podcast.
Yes, this is our podcast.
This is our podcast. We've been on the podcast before, and I talked about my healing journey on raw foods and raw veganism, and what has brought me back to the roots of fruits. And now we're here to dig deeper into why we choose to eat raw foods, fruits and veggies, and not stay on the path of vegan junk food that is being promoted.
Yeah, has been a big agenda, and I can't lie, I've also fallen into that agenda before when I first went vegan, eating all the vegan junk food, while going from McDonald's to like vegan junk food to like now raw food. It's been such a tremendous difference, and I feel like everyone should be learning about the differences between all three.
Yes.
It's huge.
Absolutely. And we have experience and the education information to talk about this topic because such as myself, I have studied and I'm certified in cellular regeneration and detoxification, as well as family herbology. So I studied herbology for many years, as well as detoxification through the process of cleansing and elimination of toxins, acids, mucus that is stagnated in the body, such as in the bowels, kidneys, liver, lymphatic system, blood. And I've seen very, very sick people, diseased people. And why I really want to bring this topic to the table is a lot of the same illnesses that have been caused by junk food that is meat-based, such as burgers, bacon, different cheeses, pizza, things like that, are now a
standard
American diet.
Sad diet.
Yes, those same diseases are now running rampant and occurring in vegans that are eating highly processed junk food versions of animal products. So these mock meats, including, mock meats, mock cheeses, mock eggs, even certain plant-based milks that are very synthetic and high in preservatives and toxic chemicals that do not belong in the human body or in any body, literally in any body. And we are here to shed light on
give you some
vegetation and the healthy way. Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what we're talking about. The healthy way to promote veganism, and that it's a holy trinity of taking care of the animals, saving animals' lives, as well as the ecosystems, as well as our bodies.
Your own health.
Our own health matters as well. Yes.
Yeah.
And it deserves to feel well. So my background, I'll add on a little more so that you can learn a little bit about me as well. And then Justine can talk more about her background. And I went vegan about 7 years ago now. And I began eating a lot of cooked food, and it was a great transition. But I never really resonated with wanting to try a lot of the mock meat because I felt it was very highly processed with a lot of oils, salts, preservatives, grains,
chemicals.
Yes, which I knew from my many, many years of studies, as well as environmental science that I have a background in and a degree in. I have a bachelor's degree in environmental science, as well as geography, as well as public administration. So my goal was to go into the environmental sector. So I know a thing or two about sustainability and environmental protection.
You sure do.
Thank you. And my concerns about vegan junk food mock meats, such as the Beyond meats and the Impossible, are that they are not the ethical brands that they claim they are. They perpetuate a lot of degradation of land, monoculture crop, as well as creating sickness in the body because the human body doesn't need or want actual processed, junky, chemical, highly monoculture crop saturated food. It needs simple whole foods, and those are fruits and veggies that grow from Mama Gaia. So
100%.
Yes. So my experience and my passion in environmentalism, health, as well as ethics, as well as standing up for animals and adoring animals and loving animals since I was born, I adored animals.
We all innately do.
We all innately do. We all choose to eat the apple instead of a bunny, rabbit, right?
Right.
Like, a baby and child would not choose to go and kill and murder a squirrel on the road. Or
They want to pet it.
They want to pet it. They want to smile and feel joy about seeing an animal, right? They want to cuddle with the animal. And so,
just like with our dogs and cats here that they glorify.
Absolutely.
In America.
Yeah. So Justine and I have a big passion, right, for animals, health, wellness, and sustainability of the earth. And I think this holistic approach to veganism is the path that is really important to focus on and meander towards, instead of the path that has been overtaken and co-opted by corporations that are out to make a profit and continue the perpetuation of illness and serious chronic illness that is pervading our society.
You said it best.
Yes.
As always.
Thank you so much. You too, as always, sister.
Yes.
Yes, we're here. We inspire one another, and Justine has been such a supportive, amazing friend and sister, and we love eating raw foods together and fruits. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see, we have a lot of mangoes here and watermelon and papaya, honeydew. We eat so many fruits and veg. We take care of ourselves. We love eating raw foods, and we're here to promote that and to also stand with people that are worried about where veganism and vegan foods are heading. So we want to unite movements, and we want to unite the people that are worried about what's happening with veganism and a little apprehensive that there could be some kind of vegan agenda. And the agenda is not that that not killing animals is bad, or is that there's some agenda there. Because we all want better for beings, right? We want to save animals. But I agree in that. I will have to say that I will start reading some of the research I have found on the founders of these corporations, and there are a lot of dark sides to vegan junk food.
Oh yeah,
we can discuss. We will discuss.
Sure. I mean, there's a lot of vegan activists who will promote vegan junk food because they say it's vegan, but it's even worse than what it seems with that. We're guarding that.
Yes. And when you look at the people behind these companies and corporations that are such as the Beyond Meat, as well as the Impossible Burger brands, which are the most well-known. There's also Gardein. There's also Kellogg's. Is the company that created the first mock meat ever in the world. And we all know that Kellogg's does not promote healthy foods or create healthy foods. Does cornflake cereal with cow secretions sound like a health promoting food?
Oh, hell no.
So these, it's interesting that these same people and these same companies, such as McDonald's and Burger King and all these other brands that have perpetuated severe illness for decades and decades and cause heart attacks, cancers, diabetes, obesity, chronic illness, autoimmune issues, strokes in people because of the high content of animal products, fats, oils, burnt, cooked, degraded, degenerated food, denatured, are the same people that are trying to sell these mock products, these Frankenfoods to us,
They're
right?
one and the same.
So isn't that suspicious? Isn't that concerning?
Super sus.
Yes, super sus. If you want to add something before I go into maybe the founders of some of these companies, I could share what I found.
Well, I'm really curious to see what you found, but I can tell you, I have eaten those kinds of foods, the Beyond, the Impossible, the Just Egg, and let me tell you, I felt like absolute shit on that. So I can understand why there's ex-vegans and stuff, but I mean, they're not really eating what's meant for them, biologically as a frugivore.
Yeah, frugivore.
As a frugivore.
Like frugivore decals.
Yes.
Get it while it's hot. I mean, get it while it's raw, 'cause it's raw.
It's raw. Oh, yeah. It's raw.
Not cooked, not denatured.
Yeah. So, I've definitely dove deep into that when I was first went vegan, and let me tell you, it's not the way. So
it's not the way.
I really should have done more research before just like, oh, it's vegan, I should go get it. Just because it's vegan doesn't mean it's healthy for you. That's
Yes.
one thing in particular that people tend to get backwards, is that veganism is expensive, and when that's not true. I mean, like, all the mock meats and cheeses are what's expensive, and they're not even that good for you at all. So actually, a lot of the best food is actually wild and free. You can look it up on
wild
here.
and free food, right?
Yeah.
Free food out in the forests, and herbs and fruits and veg, and that's what gives us life and nourishment and joy, and not these mock meat. If you think of the word mock, it's making a mockery of flesh. Do I want to put something in my body that reminds me of the flesh I used to eat that is coming from exploited, maimed, and murdered animals? Do I want to eat a certain type of fake cheese that literally smells and looks like the bovine secretions that we used to eat? So I want to bring up an interesting... Boo! No way.
No way. No more.
No
We're done with that.
So I want to bring up an interesting thing about biology in the brain. So we have the olfactory bulb, and that's connected to the memories in our brain. So any kind of smell or taste that we consume, and it goes through our taste buds, it goes to parts of the brain and creates memories with that food. So if the body biologically has past memories of eating a adrenaline-filled piece of meat, such as steak, that steak has a lot of adrenaline and hormones pumping through that cow before and during the murder process of it, and that same adrenaline and those hormones that are not meant for the human body, especially in those proportions, it's very, very high. Anyone who's ever had anxiety or panic attack or feeling like adrenaline rushing through their body, that is not a healthy way to feel all the time, or that is not a health promoting type of hormone or steroid. We have specific mechanisms that help us to stay calm and grounded in situations so that we are not flooding our body with adrenaline. Now, if flesh and secretions are eaten frequently or even once in a while, that adrenaline is now introduced to the cells and to the body. That is now a memory stored in the brain, and that memory is now knows that. So when a person eats a piece of flesh or secretions or eggs, that is now stored as a memory of what it did to the body, such as creating maybe anxiety or higher heartbeat or higher blood pressure. And these things are cellular memories. So cells store memories. Cells store a remembrance of what food did to that body. So now when somebody that's vegan and says, okay, now I'm gonna be healthy, and I'm gonna eat the Impossible Burger.
Because you think it's healthy.
Because you think it's healthy. That plant-based burger,
if it's even made from plants.
Well, we'll get into the ingredients, or whatever kind of
Spill
mock
the juice,
burger
dude.
it will be, will now flood a whole host of memories from the past of what has been created in the body and biologically and anatomically, and what that did with our individual cells. So if the meat was not promoting health within our cells, and if somebody is eating a fake piece of meat that smells and looks and has the same texture as a steak burger, as a cow flesh burger, that internal cellular memory is now being brought up and can cause the same biological response or similar as something that as real flesh and secretion. So I have a major concern in eating something that it looks like a copy and almost indistinguishable. I have heard people say that they have eaten these mock meats and mock cheeses and they couldn't tell the difference. Now, if we're trying to become healthier, because I have a feeling that a lot of people like to feel good and like to feel healthy in their body.
Yes, of course.
Now, if somebody is continually eating that and not just using it as a transition step, which it can be a helpful transition, I will give merit to that. But if somebody stops there and doesn't go further into incorporating more raw foods and whole foods, yes, there's levels. And if that part of it is not taken into account and people stay in a junk food world and lifestyle, then all of that food addiction that was there, that internal memory from the olfactory bulb and the memory storage of the brain, reminds the brain as if they are still eating the same things they ate, which caused their illness.
Wow.
And that can really, this is a very subconscious, deep level of creating harm to the populace.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Because if people can't even tell the difference, that a vegan burger that's being eaten is sending signals to the brain that, oh, this tastes just like that flesh we used to eat, and it can
it has the same like maybe texture as it, because the flavor comes from plants that they're putting on.
Yeah, so that continues certain food addictions, that continues certain patterns of binging and overeating, because or it continues certain addictions to the adrenaline, because the brain is assuming that there's adrenaline in a certain fake vegan burger, and it's now associating that with a high. And so this can cause all sorts of addictive patterns of behaviors, as well as the SOS. So
what's SOS?
SOS is salt, oil, and sugar. Oh. Those are the three most heavily addictive substances in food, especially so processed salt, processed oils, and processed sugars. If you notice that those are added into these vegan meat and cheese and egg substitutes, because psychologists and food scientists know that they're extremely habit forming and addictive. And it has been found that they can be just as addictive as cocaine to parts of the brain. Parts of the brain light up heavily to SOS. So
makes them feel good.
Yes. And so we can delve deeper if you're ready.
Yes, let's dive deep.
Let's dive deep and expose a little bit of the founders.
I'm about to dive in.
Yes.
So do tell us.
Okay. So I looked into the founders of Beyond Meat and Impossible Burger, and there's many other brands that are creating mock animal products. But I will go into these main two because they are the most popular, and they are in Burger Kings and McDonald's, and it's such a fad, and it's so cool to eat these, and because yay, we're saving animals, but what are we, what is being done to the animals and to the earth and to our own bodies because of these companies that are behind a label of ethical and vegan? I will go as far to say that I don't see these as vegan. I know both of these brands have created their formulas through animal testing. So, right? You've heard that.
So it's not even vegan. They're freaking testing on animals.
Yeah.
And I've heard that.
So with the heme, there's major controversy, and of course these companies claim that is untrue. But we will mention that there is a big concern about animal testing, so we can go even as far to say that these are not vegan. Right. And so the Impossible Burger founder, his name is Patrick O'Brown. I want to share with you a little bit of his background of who he is. And do you think, Justine, wouldn't it make sense that he's probably a farmer, right? Or he likes producing good, healthy food, or he worked in agriculture.
You would think maybe he's vegan or conscious himself and
well. He's not a farmer. He is not an ag expert. He is not a grower of food or has experience with that in a career sense.
So what's he doing with?
He is a professor of biochemistry. He is the inventor of DNA macroarray, used for genotyping of gene cells of humans and animals. So this means testing of different, yes, possibly, because through the ingredients of a lot of this food, there's a lot of genetic altering of these ingredients. And I want to read to you, before I talk about his experience and career into DNA and genetic manipulation.
Oof.
I want to read you the ingredients of some of these of this company. So the Impossible Burger, the founder, which is Patrick O. Brown, which has worked with different gene splicing, creating genetically modifying genes, looking at what genes cause cancers and tumor growth through genetic manipulation of these genes. Now, interesting, because the ingredient list of these Impossible Burgers, the ground beef one is water, soy protein concentrate, coconut oil, sunflower oil, natural flavors, which can mean a whole host of different chemicals.
Can mean like 6,000 things in
one. Potato protein, let's see. Methyl cellulose, yeast extract, by the way, that's GMO yeast. So yum, genetically modified yeast. Doesn't that sound great and nourishing? Gross.
Okay, read the other 100 ingredients.
Cultured dextrose, food starch, modified soy leg hemoglobin, salt mixed tocopherols, soy protein isolates, and then a bunch of isolated synthetic vitamins and minerals, which are not found from fruits or veggies, but created in a lab. That includes zinc glucosate, thiamine hydrochloride, niacin, pyridoxine hydrochloride, riboflavin, vitamin B12. Now, these are all lab synthetically made and not from a natural source. Now, we can see here that there's GMO yeast, there's GMO soy, there's a lot of isolates, there's a lot of modification. Now, that would make sense because the Mr. Brown loves to modify genes and loves to tinker and modify and alter genomes and genetic sequencing to experiment. Now, I don't feel comfortable with that kind of person creating food that I would put into my body. And
why is that?
Right. Why is that? Now, he also created a robotic dispenser that could deposit minute quantities of tens of thousands of individual genes into a single glass slide of a DNA microarray, or gene chip it's called. So this targets individual genes, and it's a clustering of what genotypes the person has. So it lists different genotypes. Now, this to me does not feel like a person that really supports the health and wellness of the environment as well as saving animal lives. This sounds like a scientist that has worked for plenty years in laboratory settings, altering genes, creating different, noticing how these things can be spliced and altered and modified, and seeing what kind of sequences of genes cause tumor growth and disease in the body. Now, I wouldn't feel comfortable or safe for that kind of information that Mr. Brown has to be creating the food that I eat every day. Now,
most definitely.
One of the ventures, the groups that funded, gave billions to Mr. Brown to start Impossible Burger, is Khosla Ventures, run by Vinod Khosla. Now, he is in the technology field of creating large databases for cloud storage to hold large databases of information. So he invests in cloud storage, Khosla Ventures, which gave multiple billions to Impossible Burger Company. They created database programs such as Ring Central, Nutanix, ThoughtSpot, and Rubrik. These are all cloud storage companies. Now, why would Mr. Khosla be so interested in promoting health and wellness and creating food? I'm very concerned about this uniting of technology, genetic engineering, and creating food products for millions of people around the world. This reminds me of merging basically technology with humans through consuming things that have been extremely altered in a laboratory and then goes into the body, into the cellular structure, and can affect every organ and gland.
That's intense.
We must be suspicious of the manufactured, altered food-like products. If anyone wants to research further this founder, there's a lot more information about his science background, working in the medical field, working in laboratories in the pharmaceutical industry. So this man is not a farmer or an agriculturalist or somebody interested in being a health conscious, positive impact on the world. And I then want to now go into, and then we can talk more about it once I talk about this next man, the Beyond Meat founder. Now, let me read the ingredients of Beyond Meat burgers. Oopsies, I don't hear this. There we go. Okay. Okay, so the Beyond Meat patty includes water, pea protein, isolates, and remember, isolates are not health promoting. Anything that's isolated is degenerated and degraded from the natural source. Expeller pressed canola oil. Canola oil is very detrimental to the veins and arteries of the body, and it can be it can cause, it's very erosive and bad for the neurological system as well as the blood. Refined coconut oil. Now, another thing, refined. These are words that don't belong inside the body. Rice protein, natural flavors, so more undisclosed chemicals that we know nothing about. Cacao butter, mung bean protein, methyl cellulose, potato starch, apple extract, salt, potassium chloride, vinegar, lemon juice, concentrate, sunflower lecithin, pomegranate fruit powder, beet juice extract for color. Now, we see here a lot of modified things such as canola oil, which is cooked vegetable oil, is one of the worst, especially for the blood, for the heart. You can be vegan and still have an illness and a heart attack from the high levels of cooked oils that are so degraded. Vegetable oil is extremely corrosive to the lining of the veins and arteries. Oil is nasty. We have pea protein isolate, right protein. So basically a lot of grains, a lot more oil, grains, salt, and sugar, because salt, oil, sugar is the most addictive thing. SOS. So we can go further, to say that not only is big profit being made here, but a continuation of a lot of food addictive behaviors, a lot of binging, a lot of going to McDonald's and Burger King, giving the money to the same people that sell and promote flesh and secretions to billions of people for decades around the world. Now, can we trust companies that have been doing this for this long and that have promoted sickness?
No way.
No way.
How could we?
I want to read you about the founder of Beyond Meat. Can I?
Oof, of course.
Okay.
Do the honors.
So his name is Ethan Brown. I don't know. They share the same last name. I'm not sure if they're related. I cannot say that. But sounds Beyond Meat is sold in as many McDonald's and 67,000 locations. Ethan Brown worked at Alternative Energy and Electricity Grid Restructuring. He worked in fuel cell manufacture and the vice chairman of the board of National Hydrogen Association. Now, he's really into soybeans. He visited the research center at University of Missouri that was looking for additional uses for soybeans. So we're seeing here somebody that went to a bunch of scientists and they said that we need to basically find another alternative or another source to put the extra soybeans that have been produced. So the overproduction of soy and corn is very common in America. And what's not used in corn to feed different animals is used to produce corn syrup and different syrups like that. So they need to find places to put grains that there's an oversupply of and create something to then make profit from that. So,
yikes.
Yeah, Ethan Brown went to visited a research center at University of Missouri that was looking for additional uses of soybeans. Now, this sounds a bit suspicious to me because if there's an oversupply of soybeans, instead of throwing them out into the garbage, they would assume the best business approach to it is to create a new form, an outlet to now sell these soybeans into something. So they thought, how about we create patties or some kind of a food product that is heavy in soy, and mass promote it and mass produce it. So now we have an outlet of the oversupply of soybeans. Instead of producing less GMO soy, we're producing the same and more to make these different mock substitute things.
And not for the good of people, it sounds like.
No, it does not sound. All of this, when I dug deep and researched it all, it feels very profit-driven, very sinister even, dark.
Totally.
And not health promoting. And these people, if you really read about what their background is, they're not these animal lover, activist, ethical, health conscious people. And I will not support people that do not promote, they don't actually promote the environmental goodness of the world, because this is very destructive, is to create soy and corn and wheat-based products. But they do not promote the health of the human body. And so I cannot support companies and corporations that do not have my best interest at heart.
And I won't do the same either. Anymore, like I used to.
Anymore. Yeah. Now, Ethan Brown, the founder of Beyond Meat, is also the director of Planet Partnership. This is interesting. It is a joint venture with PepsiCo, with Pepsi. Now, the producer of soda that has caused a lot of illness around the world, a lot of hospitalizations, a lot of issues with poisoning of the liver and the kidneys and the blood and the lymphatic system, because we all know that Pepsi and sodas like that are not health promoting, right?
Absolutely.
So if a person that's just making an innocent plant-based burger patty that cares about health, why would he joint venture with PepsiCo? Interesting. It really goes back to money. Money, right? Money,
yeah,
money,
money over people.
Yes.
I mean, there's a certain, you can make profit like helping people, but this is not.
No, this is not.
So
he, Ethan Brown worked with Fu Hung Heish and, sorry if I may be mispronouncing that, and Harold Huff. They are food scientists.
What the food?
They are food scientists, and their goal, as stated in my research, said their goal is for consumer acceptance of soy products, including mock meats, mock cheeses, mock eggs, different plant-based milks that are very highly processed. So the acceptance of soy products was the main goal, because if we have an oversupply of soy, we now have to put them into some product to sell. And it works. It's a brilliant business idea that has been created by biotech, computer engineers, food scientists working in labs, and that is not where true food really does come from. That is where synthetic and denatured and degrading and illness promoting things come from, and that's why we are here to stand up against it. Now, brands such as Beyond Meat, Impossible Burger, Kellogg's, Gardein, all are in the field of basically engineering and altering products to look like food, to taste like the food you're so ingrained to love from childhood. And they have a history and background of doing very, very shady and deceptive and polluting things to humans and the earth through factories and lab and the medical industries they've been involved in. Now, Gardein is owned by ConAgra, which makes Slim Jims and Ready Whip. Do you know? Do you remember those?
Yes.
At the store?
Ew.
So the same
me?
Company that is making Slim Jims,
Which is
meat, which is meat, which is flesh, which is murdered animals, blood on their hands. Okay, ConAgra has blood on their hands.
ConAgra has blood on their hands.
Now Gardein,
so much blood on their hands. Okay, now Gardein, as you were saying.
Gardein is owned by ConAgra. So Gardein, just an innocent, as they claim, just a wonderful company promoting health and plant-based and getting people to be vegan, is owned by the same company that makes Slim Jims. Right. So I can trust these people, right? These are people that I want to buy from and give money to and support. Absolutely not. And so we are empowered vegans, health conscious vegans, animal loving vegans that are here to make a stand against food that is creating the same illness on our earth that animal products have for decades and decades and decades. Now, do we want to make loops back into and make steps backward into instead of making steps forward, altering food into these technological advancements and food science innovations? That's not progress to me. That's degressing, because it's denaturing of the beautiful Mama Earth Gaia garden that provides us with fruits and veggies. I'm a certified holistic health coach that has been doing this for many, many years and helping people get well after dealing with chronic illness, including cancers and high blood pressure and heart attacks and strokes. I've helped many, many people to get better with that. And if anyone is interested in having some kind of coaching through a food and herbal program, I would love to help with that, because I want to show that I've seen incredible improvement and progress in people eating raw foods.
Even in yourself.
Yes, and in myself. I myself have healed, not through vegan cooked processed junk stuff. That is not
Which they're not even vegan.
Yeah, that they're not even vegan. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to add before I go into some more solutions and why we're promoting raw foods and eating a lot of fruits and greens and things, is that these companies have had a history of animal testing. Now, we can go into the minute intricacies of, well, if you're eating something that isn't actually flesh and secretion, well, technically it's vegan, but we have to backtrack and go through the history of how were those things created in a lab? What genes did they use to create them? Possibly animal genes. What DNA was used to do this testing, to test the effectiveness of creating a certain texture and taste and flavor and smell. Now, this takes a lot of laboratory testing. This takes big labs, a lot of energy, a lot of water, a lot of land use to create something in a package, in a plastic packaging with a lot of ink. Now, why can't we just go to the mango, straight to the fruit? Why can't we go straight to the papaya, the perfect watermelon that is already grown and perfectly packaged in natural skin? Why do we have to alter and modify and change and shapeshift and genetically change the molecular structure of
what's already perfect.
These products, what's already perfect. Let's go back, and that's not even going back. Going back to our roots as a frugivore species means to progress in our health as a species and as a society, not to degress. And I think junk food has done major, it's not done a great job at promoting veganism, because there's a lot of people that assume that we need to eat, the Gardein and the Beyond Meats and Impossible Burgers to be vegan. So then they're eating that way, such as maybe like different generations of people that assume that, oh, that's something, oh, it's sold in McDonald's. Okay, I'm going to try out this vegan thing. And then they fail at being vegan because they end up feeling still sick. They're still sick. They're not better. I didn't get better on cooked food. Yeah. I didn't get better on cooked food. I didn't get better on different plant-based patties, even the bean patties and the things. I tried eating that for some time. I still felt sick. I still felt miserable. I was,
because you're killing that food, you're killing the enzymes, you're killing the life in it. So of course you're not gonna,
causing constipation and stagnation of the bowels, of the cells. So I was very, very sick from a animal product based diet many years ago, and I was, had suffered from many different symptoms, and especially the different things with just like adrenal fatigue and things that affect like different digestive complaints and liver pain and all that. From animal products, I was eating a lot of meat, cheese, and eggs. We're here to say we do not promote that at all. And we also do not promote the products that are mocking it and mimicking it, because not only does it trick the brain to think that it's still eating what that person was eating when they got sick from that, but it also does not support good environmental causes and the health and wellness of soil, because monoculture crops are extremely degrading of the land and soil, and they harm many different ecosystems and little animals that live on those farms. And so the thing here is to progress into health and unite with the people that are health conscious and want to bring about better change, because the path into more junk and more processed things, and how do we create the best vegan bacon and like the tastiest vegan cheese that tastes
coconut
exactly
bacon.
Yeah, we can do it the raw route. We can create
there you go
foods out of raw food and create amazing creations. That Justine, what are some things that you've made from raw foods?
Anything can be. I learned that anything that you've cooked before can be made raw, and it actually tastes so much better, like more flavorful. You feel better, and I prefer raw food over cooked food any day. After like doing both, and I can feel the difference, the electricity, the life force in it, and it does taste so much better because you're not cooking out any of the flavor or the enzymes or the minerals and the vitamins that you need. So.
Right.
Yeah, you can make raw vegan cheese, raw vegan patties, and burgers and pizzas. You can make it yourself, or there's a lot of like raw restaurants now that are that have options too. But obviously making your food yourself is the best and most fresh, and it doesn't have to be hard or complicated. I actually think that uncooking and making raw food is a lot easier than actually cooking your food, and you have to deal with less dishes and grease and stuff that sticks in the pan that would stick into your intestines if you ingested it.
Exactly. And speaking of grease, I want to mention also why these mock meats and mock cheeses are so unhealthy for us. They're so full of oil, and vegetable oil can be just as degrading and unhealthy for the body as animal fat, because there's many studies that it is corrosive to the endothelial lining of vessels and arteries of the body, and these oils get stagnated and putrefy, and they get a rancid oil that has been cooked. Let's say if you go to a McDonald's and you see a pan or a deep fryer of oil, it's all old oil that has been rancid, and they're putting these vegan things into using this old rancid oil, that the body does not want that rancid.
And you don't find that in nature.
Exactly. I was just going to say, it doesn't grow on a tree. You can't find a bottle of canola oil.
Right, or a deep fryer.
Or a deep fryer in the wilderness in the jungle. Like, is this our natural essence? Is this who we truly are and want to be?
Those are great questions.
Right. Ask yourselves this. Do we belong eating processed, genetically altered things, food-like products by people that don't give anything about our health? They don't care about the animals, and I will say that strongly because I researched these people, and although some of these involved with working with these companies may be vegan, they have a history of working with PepsiCo and bioengineering labs and different pharmaceutical corporations. Now, the same people that have caused massive illness and tumor growth and heart attacks and chronic illness and autoimmune and fibromyalgia, all the list of labels, when the simplicity of healing goes back to the fruits and veg. Now, my journey is that I eat majority fruits. I am fruit-based raw vegan for 6.5 years at least, and it has healed my body incredibly. I feel healthier, I feel more energy, I feel joyful, I sleep better, I'm calmer, and I'm just happier, and my cells feel more alive, and it's the mucus came out of me, parasites came out, all the things that are very cause stagnation and constipation is the word I was looking for. If our bowels are constipated from these non-foods, it means that our cells are also constipated and they can't go to the bathroom releasing toxic cellular waste that needs to be eliminated through the bowels, the liver, the skin, the lymph, the kidneys. And if that keeps sitting around inside of the body, then that causes dis-ease. Now, because of my background on nutrition and herbology and studying detoxification, I can say from my expertise that vegan junk food, these replacement foods, are not. I'll say this: they're very, very destructive to the internal organs. They're very destructive to the bowels. They are very destructive to the brain and to the mood of those consuming this. Now, is that the representation we want for the vegan movement? No.
That should be a concern.
Right. We don't want unhealthiness, disease, chronic illness to represent veganism, because that's giving veganism a bad name. And what happens when we give veganism a bad name is more animals will suffer because less people will choose to go vegan or plant-based and change their whole diet.
If it's not helping their health,
right.
and they think that's what being vegan is, when it's
right.
not.
And they see bad role models that are sick and sluggish and swollen and going to doctors and on pills. That does not represent veganism well, and we can do better, everybody. Like, this I'm speaking to the vegans. I'm speaking to the people that have never been vegan and are interested in going vegan. If you don't want to call yourself vegan because of the connotation, that's your thing. But if you can eat a lot of fruits and veggies, raw, raw plant-based, that is the way towards the Holy Trinity, as I call it, and like the aspect of health, animals, and the ecosystems and the environment. That's true support and health of those a holistic approach to wellness. And we want to be a representation and a role model of veganism in a very positive, light-filled, fruitful way that is full of abundant fruits. Look, the mango is perfection. Right? It has it's hydrating, it's alkaline, it's sweet, it's juicy. It helps to release different parasitic activity and mucus in the bowels and biofilms. It's just like any fruit. And if we need to take this and say, no, Mama Gaia, you have created something that's not good enough. It's not good. It's ew. It's bland. It's boring. And we take this and cook it and process it and mix it with chemicals and mix it with a bunch of synthetic crap that's not anywhere near a food source that our body can recognize, and it turns into tumors because of that. Why take a perfected Mama Gaia, God-given source of nourishment and energy and alter it and turn it into a patty that is gross and oily and sizzles on the grill, and it smells like the stuff that, like we used to eat meat, we used to eat cheese and eggs and all the secretions. And why do we want to be reminded of that and stay stagnant in the past? We want to move forward and eat better, do better, feel better, look better, smile better, enjoy better.
It starts with what you think first. And of course, this is us changing your thoughts or like having you to change your own thoughts. We're just giving the vegetation here. So first it starts with how you think and your mindset, and of course vegecating yourself. And then it starts with doing it to be better and start making the effort. And then soon enough it'll become your being. It'll become second nature to you. So don't fear it.
Yeah, don't fear it. Be it. Try it. Live it. Like it's absolutely revolutionary. Look, fruits and veg, they don't need the packaging. They don't need advertising. They don't need all the fancy schmancy celebrities standing behind it, like with Impossible and Beyond. They're just already there in their perfect form, saying this is the nourishment of Gaia for humanity and for animals. Listen to our calls. Go back to the roots of fruits. Go back to the frugivore essence that we are frugivores. We are not beyond meativores. We are not processed junkivores. We should not be, but people are living that way, and people are assuming that that is veganism and that is what ethics and health looks like, and it is not. It is that is going the separate path,
it's living in reverse.
Reverse, right. It is evil, and there's a lot of evil, sinister things that happen. I just want to bring up something I looked on my notes again. Another interesting statistic or fact that Impossible Foods, and this is from a website that researched Impossible Foods, they did not require stamps of approval from the FDA. So the FDA has not approved many of these mock food-like products that are being sold all over the grocery stores, right? And we assume that they're food because, it's on the market, it must have been tested and approved by FDA. Not approved by FDA. Now, some other things I want to add is the Planet Partnership by the Beyond Meat with PepsiCo. Yeah. And these are partnership. This is another form of greenwashing, because you call an organization by planet or environment or sustainability when they do not actually act on that sustainability, because they're people that work in biotech labs and promote massive testing and creating of new chemicals and new DNA sequences and alterations of food, and taking soy and isolating it, and taking corn and isolating it, and rice and grains, and making mixes and making different concoctions of how do we know what that can result in down the line. A lot of these foods are pretty new on the market. I have a concern for humanity years down the line of what kind of illnesses will come out of that. And we're already seeing people that live on vegan junk food not feeling good. And I don't want to name names, but I've spoken to plenty of people in the vegan activist community that are not healthy at all, right? And you have that experience.
Right. Yeah, totally.
What did you experience?
Oreos and
what were they eating?
Oh my God, it's so...
Explain, when you went to vegan activist events, explain their main, their diets that you saw. What were they eating for breakfast, lunch, dinner?
They were having wheat waffles and what else? These fake vanilla hot dogs that have like so many ingredients, Oreos, Takis, Lay's chips, bread, a lot of bread, macaroni, like the noodles and stuff, and just a bunch of things that need to be cooked. When I remember we came back from doing activism one of the nights, and everybody was hungry, and they were like, "What are we gonna make for dinner?" And then they're like still cooking their food, and I had like a melon with me, and everybody around me was like, "Wow, that melon looks so good! Like, can you give me like a scoop of that?" So I think innately, like, everybody wants to eat what's fast and easy and tastes good and is sweet, and it was so easy to prepare. You literally just cut it up and you eat it, and like it could be like a bowl, and boom, it's ready to be there. That's the original fast food is fruit.
Yeah, original fast food. It's already there.
And
like
veggies.
Yeah. And we don't need to make all this packaging and chemical plants, and we don't need factories and labs or all this alteration of Gaia, of these blessed plants. We don't need to alter plants. They're raw, they're perfect in their form that they are. And when we eat simply and minimally is when we start to heal and feel a sense of energy. And the enzymes, right? Like you were saying earlier, like we need enzymes. If we cook food, we cook away the enzymes, and we need
our
enzymes.
Life force.
Yeah, our life force. And we need that to break down and digest the food we're consuming. So without these helpful enzymes, we're now putting a burden on the pancreas and the liver and the stomach, small intestine, large intestine. Look at all the digestive tract is so huge, and it has so many different components. So the raw foods, the fruits, and mangoes are delicious. We love mangoes.
Ooh, yeah. And nutritious.
Yeah, nutritious. Yummy. Eat more mangoes, everybody. Yeah. And
if you ain't vegan, let that man go.
Yeah, right. Vegan, and junk food vegan too. Let that man go.
It's not even vegan junk food. It's not even vegan, right? It's just fucking junk food.
It's just junk food. It's crap. It's nonsense. It's something that if you really need to use as a transitional step, like, okay, do it if that's the only way you can see yourself moving past animal secretions and flesh, because we do want to save animals, and we love and care about animals. We volunteered at different sanctuaries. We are highly in tune with the ethical side of this, but we want to remind people that the founders and the practices behind a lot of these companies are not ethical based. They do not have ethical practices. They have these I read something about the workers working at like the Impossible factory or something, and or the different factories, that have to put all these ingredients together. They are not treated wonderfully. They are surrounded by different machines and different chemicals and processing plants and waste products. So these people are also not in the best work environments, just like people working in slaughterhouses, or that's also awfully disgusting, disturbing, unethical way of living and way of working as employment. And so we want to help save these people from these awful conditions, from these labs and also the slaughterhouses, and say, go back, like, we just need the raw food. Go back to the roots, go back to the simplicity of eating and healing and nurturing and joy. Like, do you feel so much happier eating raw food? What do you feel like?
Absolutely. I feel more lighter and joyful and happy, and like I just feel good. I feel electric. I can feel the difference right away for my cells and myself. And let me tell you, it's the ultimate thing that you could do for your health and for yourself and for the animals and for the environment, is to eat raw food and eat what grows in nature. It's wild and free too.
Go back to the nature, to the tropical frugivore roots of tropical fruits.
As long as we take care of the earth will take care of us.
Right.
We are the earth.
And and Justine and I, we feel like we represent veganism really well and beautifully. And, we're vibrant. We're two young, vibrant, beautiful women that are here to show, like, eat, be like, it's exciting and fun and wonderful to be vegan, but to be vegan, you don't have to go eat the junky food and follow the crowd of where they're going to get that McDonald's plant-based burger. You don't have to walk that route. You can walk the route of nature and juicy and fruits and greens and herbs and walking barefoot and be out in the sun and take a bath in a river and swim in the ocean and really to reconnect with Mama Gaia, because that's ultimately what we're here to do, is live in harmony and in union and in unity with all that is true and natural and sustainable. That's true sustainability. What is sustainable? I don't need to be greenwashed and told that buy this packaged foods to support sustainability, when I can literally take a mango, peel it, throw the skin and the seed out into the forest and not have any waste from that, right?
That could be great compost, great soil.
Yeah.
You could even grow another mango tree if you're living in the right environment for that.
Right. Think of all the food waste that is created from this junk food, fast food, packaged food. Oh, but it's vegan, they say. Oh, but it's saving animals. Yeah, but it's creating waste too. It's destroying the planet.
It's creating waste in your body too.
Yes, waste in the body, waste on the planet.
Right. Let's go back to the Garden of Vegan, please.
Please, the Garden of Vegan, and represent veganism well. And we're here to take a stand and to show that we get also people why they may be apprehensive about the vegan movement and why they may be apprehensive about some of these people, such as the Gates Foundation, working with some of these mock meats and buying out, thousands of acres of land to promote soy and corn and wheat production to then put in these things. Also lab-grown meat, another concern, because you're now taking, DNA and different samples from actual animals and growing these things in labs. So we understand the concern of some non-vegans that may look at veganism in a bad light. And I see you and I understand you. And I'm here to say you don't have to walk the route of supporting these medical industries and these labs and these biotech if you're concerned about that, because there's no agenda behind fruits and veggies. The agenda is behind the poisoning and sickening and destruction of the land and the body, and including the animals from these major corporations and companies. There is an agenda here, and I can say that as a vegan that has been an ethical, health promoting, environmentally conscious vegan, that there is a vegan agenda. But the agenda is to sicken people and to co-opt the movement for them to eat disgusting, processed, junky, acidifying, mucus forming non-foods. The agenda is to keep people sick and suffering and confused and overweight and tired and fatigued and in pain. That's the agenda. And I'm here to stand with the people that say that there's an agenda.
Now that's the agenda. That sounds like more of an agenda than to be protecting the animals and the environment and ourselves. So it's like going opposite of that, of the movement of being vegan.
Right.
Trying to put a bad name and spill on it.
Right. They're spinning it. They're putting a bad name. Exactly, Justine. Like they're making it into this fad of needing to buy processed things to be vegan. Like that's not veganism.
Honey.
That's not real. Like that's not true. Veganism is a life of fruitfulness, nature, loving animals, volunteering at sanctuaries, helping out the community, helping people heal and get better. I've seen so many people heal on raw foods, juicing, smoothies, coconut water fasting, which I did. Not the different drinks and mixtures and the vegan cheeses. I have decided when I went vegan that I would boycott those companies, and I'm very proud of myself. I'm just saying it that
I'm very proud of you.
Just that I've never touched any mock meat, any cooked. I've made things like raw, different raw patties I've made before in a dehydrator, or I've made maybe raw cashew type of cheese, but I have never eaten something that would remind me of when I ate a murdered being, or the secretions of a mother cow that just wanted to be with her calf, but the calf is torn away from the mother and she cannot feed her baby because that milk is now being bottled up and put into a market shelf. I do not want to eat anything that reminds me of torture, abuse, and murder. And so I know we can do better. We can do better. We can move past that kind of thing. And we don't have to support McDonald's and Burger King and Gardein and Impossible and Beyond and Kellogg's, the same people that have, and the companies that have created very destructive foods to the planet and to our body. We do not have to go that route to be vegan and to thrive and live, because it does the opposite. It doesn't promote what we're here to promote. So that's, what I wanted to share. I have something else. So to add, like, Beyond Meat, Rodrigo Batista also works with Planet Partnership. He's their head in research and development. So as I said before, a lot of these companies have people that are research and biotech and engineers and computer scientists. I don't feel safe and comfortable with a computer scientist and someone creating cloud storage databases, creating food. Like, something is off.
What are you doing creating food?
What is in the question now we have to ask, beyond the ingredients listed, what truly is in there? And that can go into many different theories of, is there different
What's their intention with
human DNA possibly? Is there, with the animal testing, what kind of genes are incorporated into these lab-grown meats? What kind of mixtures are there in these patties and these ground things that are mixed and we can't see what's actually there, right?
Right.
So if there's scientists and
a lot of questions
to dive deeper into, and ask yourselves that, do you feel safe for you and your family to eat things that are created by these computer scientists and these gene chip, literally called gene chip, DNA micro array, and look into that, where the saliva that is mixed with this is by the Impossible Burger, can do some kind of alterations within the body, possibly, through these the testing of the saliva, and these are people that know exactly what triggers tumor growth. Now, I am not surprised that there's an increase in cancer. I'm not surprised that there's an increase in chronic illness and the same diseases that have been created from the junk food industry for decades and animal products, because there's a lot of research, if you want to look into it, that meat, dairy, eggs are related to chronic illness and fibromyalgia and MS and high blood pressure and heart disease. And there's plenty of research. I know this through my own holistic health practice. Justine has felt the difference, right? You have felt the difference.
And we're the only animals that even cook our food. And we're the only animals that have all these diseases.
Right.
The only one. Everybody else eats raw.
Yeah. The main animals that get disease are humans, dogs, and cats. And those are the ones that are being fed cooked junk food, processed food-like products, and they're not produce. Like, we need to choose the produce. And so,
right, because the true carnivores, they're going to eat their meat raw. Okay,
right. Like, and there are plenty that are trying to claim they are a lion, but I don't see the same anatomy or anything of a lion. And even a lion would love fruits. Hey, there's no animal I've met that doesn't like a sweet fruit. I've fed many different fruits to many different animals in my travels, and they are always excited and love their fruits and love the mangoes and all the tropical fruits and the melons. Like, so many animals love a watermelon. Like, I haven't met a dog that doesn't like watermelon either. Just like us, we all want to be eating good, hydrating, nutritious things. So let's see if there's anything else So I want to add to, like, the co-opting of the vegan movement. We're here to reclaim it. We're here to stand up for true health conscious, ethical, sustainable veganism. And it doesn't come in packaging. It doesn't come in nice advertisements. It doesn't come in celebrity endorsements of all these different, like, vegan meats, you need the celebrity, all that nonsense, all those additives, all those ingredients, and you simplify it. And when you return back to the fruits and greens, which have one ingredient to them, a mango list of ingredient is mango. Like list of ingredient
easy.
in a papaya is papaya. We need to simplify.
Ooh, that papaya looks good now.
We will eat these, by the way. We will be eating. I will eat these, and we'll create a bowl of a fruit bowl, and that's joy, and that's sustainability, and that's happiness. And we want to create true sustainability, wellness, and detox and healing. And that's what we're here to do. And that's why we can make a stance. And this is not us going against companies that are saving animal lives. This is actually saving more animal lives if we get more people on board because they're feeling well on raw food. And the more people that can feel well on raw foods and go the natural route and go the way of Mama Gaia and our frugivore roots means more animals will be saved from death, and the slaughterhouses will eventually be shut down. And that's our goal here. So you may say that we are making a stand against vegan alternatives that are
really
junky,
vegan,
that aren't even vegan, and you may say, why are you making a stand against this? And vegans that do eat this food may feel maybe offended, may feel
they're
attacked.
realizing
Hopefully, right.
What we're saying is not to harm you;
No.
it's to educate you. It's to give you new information that you probably didn't know, and to make better choices with what you do with that.
Right. We're here. We're here to care. We're here to offer support and reach out to any one of us if you need support and guidance to help transition to raw foods, because we're here to help, and we're here to say, hey, we were there before. We were stuck in food addiction and binge eating and the SOS diets.
Right. We've been there. We've done that.
Yeah, we've been there and we've done that, and we've transitioned out of that into raw, fruitful living. And we're not here to attack or degrade or offend anybody or to judge, because we know how that can be. Yeah. So we know how enticing these food companies make these foods. They make them very tasty, and they're oily, and they're like, oh, they remind us of these comfort foods of the past. And so the brain, it's all trickery, it's illusion, it's mockery, to mock somebody or something is to create a mockery out of them. They are literally creating a mockery out of us. And there's a new brand that's called something like Incognito or something, where everything is this like beyond, this impossible, using these words and these names to make it seem like the greatest innovations. But these greatest innovations are actually reverting us back and backtracking the health and wellness movement that has, veganism, the movement of vegetarianism and then transitioning into veganism was all promoting whole plant foods in the past, right?
Right.
Like the 60s and 70s, the movement of true veganism was raw-based, right?
Right, because they didn't have all these factories and labs to make all the fake stuff. It was all just grown in the garden.
Right. And so
from there.
Yeah, and so the movement of the diet of veganism and the lifestyle has been co-opted by these major corporations that are extremely polluting.
The connection has been lost.
Right, the connection has been lost to true food, to real food, to why we started this in the first place. And so they not only co-opted the vegan movement and making, look, we can't help save animals and be the best role models and activists for animal liberation if we're going to be sick and toxic and polluted and tired and exhausted. We can't properly promote veganism in that state of mind and in that state of health. And so they not only co-opted the movement and lifestyle, but they co-opted the emotional empathy that goes with saving animals and liberating them. They co-opted the subconscious minds of many people by saying, look, you care, right? You're empathetic, and, transition into these vegan alternatives out of empathy for the animals. And so they're using your emotions. Yeah, exactly. They're using our emotions to program us and to make us feel like
to be vegan is to buy those products.
Right. To be vegan is and so they're playing and they're using our emotional empathy for many people and selling that, I walked into a grocery store recently and the first thing I see is Beyond Meat patty things being sold. That was the first thing I saw. And that was, and then I saw next to that like a table of mangoes. And I thought, if I want to feel healthy and well and happy and vibrant, what do I choose? Do I choose the highly isolated soy, corn, wheat,
with
whatever
like 1,000
else
ingredients
crap there's in there? Yeah, some modified oil, starch stuff.
Yeah.
Do I want to choose that for vibrancy and vitality, or the mangoes and papaya and golden pineapples and melons that are sitting there waiting to be eaten and for the seeds to be replenished into the earth so more fruit trees can grow?
Yes. Great compost.
Listen to your body, listen to your heart, listen to your spirit, listen to your mind tell you to reclaim yourself, your body, to heal empowered. That's why I called my website and blog and health coaching service Heal Empowered.
Empower yourself.
Yeah, empower yourself. And I write a lot about empowering and on my website through Heal Empowered, ED at the end, empowered, healempowered.com, and where you can find the blog with all this writing. And so yeah, this is a very important topic. This is a very controversial topic because we may, people may claim that we're doing something against veganism and we're harming it. No, because you don't have to eat processed junk to be vegan. We've said this before, but let's remind you that that is not the ultimate way of true abundance and living and joy and health. I have never seen anyone heal and feel miraculously better eating vegan cheeses all the time, like cooked vegan oily cheeses. I have not seen people heal on vegan pizzas or Beyond. I have not seen people heal on that. So if you think that you're making the right choice or that you think it's just about the animals, I will say it again, like I said before, we cannot be the best activists or promoters of animals if we are living a very unhealthy lifestyle, and people won't want to copy that if they see that.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you're eating that junk food, it's going to make you feel bad, and you're hurting yourself. You're also an animal. You don't want to be hurting yourself. Mm-hmm. Then how can you love the rest of the animals? Yeah. And it does create a lot of waste for the environment.
Right. If we're harming ourselves, then we're not helping the animals in that way. That's going against everything natural. That's going against them and against the earth. And these monoculture crops, and look, the Gates people, all those people, and the sinister things that go on, and we know that certain things that they've done are very evil practices, buying out a lot of land and supporting a lot of these mock meats and mock cheeses. Now, I cannot promote or support or buy or pay a cent even into any of those sinister organizations or groups of people or monarchies of families that have profited on the destruction of everything that is beautiful, natural, healthy, and happy and joyful for the animals, for the earth, for humanity. And we are here to shine the light on humanity and not be the destroyers, but be the liberators. Fruits and veg liberate the human spirit, the heart, the soul, and they're not full of these lab-grown toxic cocktails of poisons and chemicals. So grow your own food, return to the lands again, be barefoot, right? We love being barefoot. We love grounding. We love earthing. We travel when we can, and we're on the beach and we're eating fruits and we're enjoying ourselves. And that's the most liberating feeling. And my dream and my hope is for the vegans that are stuck in the junk food addictions, that you may liberate yourselves again. And you may return to the garden of vegan, which the true garden of vegan doesn't grow beyond an impossible patties on trees, but it grows beautiful fruits on the trees and the mangoes. And I visited many different fruit farms. And
you can make raw veggie patties.
Yeah, raw veggie patties if you want those. But just like simplicity.
As you were saying, you were visiting a farm, and what did you see?
Just like these dripping, beautiful fruits just there waiting to be plucked and harvested for the seed to return to the earth and to continue to grow and to create more fruit trees on this earth, and more regreening the earth and the planet, and like helping the animals that way. That's how we help animals. I saw in a lot of these fruit farms, there's different animals running around, there's birds, that's supportive of the wildlife and the animals. And if we want to save more animals, we can walk the vegan path and we can transition how we need to, but the goal here is to go into the fruitfulness and the frugivore roots and get that essence going and heal and feel alive and wonderful. And this is, we may not be billionaires, celebrities. We may not be these people that are out there making all these giant advertisements on the side of buildings to eat Beyond Meat and Gardein and all these. We may not have that amount of that control and power, but we do have the empowerment of ourselves. We have a voice. We have the ability to share happy, beautiful, raw vegan meals with people and to make a beautiful smoothie. So we have the power. Everyone has the individual potent power in themselves to reclaim that and reclaim the natural way and natural law, and to move away from idolizing these celebrities and these monarchy families that have poisoned and sickened the blood of humanity for decades. We are here to denounce that and to boycott that. And that and like junk food vegans, we love you. Let's get on board to natural health and wellness. Those that are not vegan yet because you're afraid of the vegan agenda from these lab tech people that are creating these lab-grown meat things and these synthetic products. We hear you. We stand with you too. We get you. And so the way to mitigate and to not go into that to not support things that Bill Gates supports, because we get you in that, is to go straight to the raw fruits and greens. And you can make tons of different juices with it. There's a lot of recipes out there. You can make smoothies. You can make different raw desserts and different salads and patties and wraps. There's so much goodness to make, and we've enjoyed it many times.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely the best.
It's definitely the best. So
we're here for you.
We're here for you. Reach out to us. Reach out, if you want some holistic health healing and consultation. I can do one that, starts with cooked vegan food to transition, and then we can transition more into raw if you want to do that. If you want to do a juice fast with me, I'll even do a juice fast with you. Hey, how about this? If anyone's interested in doing like a 1 week or 2 week juice cleanse with a bunch of raw amazing juices, or a smoothie cleanse, contact me, maybe healempowered@yahoo.com, or comment down below on the video, and let's do a smoothie or juice cleanse together. And I'll do one with you, and we can be accountability partners, and we can share the joys of this and be excited. And
I love that.
Yeah, and it's like, it's a challenge, but it's also, I'm opening the door to anyone that wants to do that with me together.
I would do it with you.
Yeah, and we can guide you and like do herbal protocols and stuff. And I also want to promote veganism, but also in a health conscious way, because veganism includes health.
Vegan for.
And so I make these different t-shirts. Oh, vegan for the animals, for the health, and the environment. The Holy Trinity is vital.
This is the Holy Trinity here.
This is it. Those three aspects, if you connect to those, if you connect the dots of sacred divinity, of all that is well and ethical, then you can really thrive. You'll really thrive. And I have
because you are a frugivore.
Thank you, sister. Thank you, Justine, for showing that. Yeah, frugivore t-shirts. I have yellow ones. I have raw vegan magnets you can put on your fridge to promote. I have one vegan that also says vegan for the animals, health, and the planet. So we like that. There's frugivore decal for a car. So get those fruits in ya. There's sun-powered stickers that say sun-powered. Here's another type of one. There's raw plant-powered stickers, fruits heal stickers, a frugivore jute tote bag. Then I have cotton.
So there's two different ones.
There's two different. There's one 100% cotton, and then this is jute that says frugivore with a lot of fruits on it. So yeah, if there's anyone out there that loves fruits, you don't even have to be vegan, but hopefully you go vegan. But hopefully you go vegan for the reasons that we said in this podcast, and that is for the animals, as well as for the health, as well as for the environment. And if you align with those three aspects of veganism, then it is an incredible path, right? It is an incredible lifestyle and journey, and we ain't ever going back.
We're never going back, baby.
No, baby.
This is the way.
This is the way.
It feels right.
It feels right. It is right.
Yeah.
It's raw and real.
It's raw and real.
It's raw and real.
Raw food
is the mood. Raw food is the mood.
Raw and real. Raw and real. Raw and real.
You feel. Yeah.
Check out our song, Raw and Real.
Check out our song, Raw and Real. We're soul sisters. I love you, girl. Thank you for this conversation. And please, everyone, look into these people and these corporations and these bioengineers and computer technology researchers. They do not have the right to tinker with our food. They do not have the right to tinker with our soil and our water and our air and degrade and pollute this blessed divine Mother Earth. She does not want to be harmed. She does not consent or approve of this, and neither do we. We do not consent to be harmed and for our bodies to be made into human experiments, because through these mock products, they are experimenting on us. They are altering our DNA through genetically modifying these organisms. They are altering our organs and how we view the world and how we view one another and our ideologies, and they are pitting us against one another. They are destroying family units. They are destroying the earth and as well as animals, and there's no care involved in these products. And, there's I will say this, there's a generally regarded as safe made in a lab. So it's similar, it's called a GRAS, and Tyson Foods follow this. It's a type of certification. So any company can say it's generally safe. Any company can put some kind of mock substitute thing out on the market, and it doesn't even have to be approved by the FDA. So the next time you're in a store and you're wanting to grab the newest vegan plant bacon thing, oh, it tastes just like bacon, it smells just like bacon. If you are wanting to grab that, remember our words in this podcast. Remember the people behind that and the sinister actions of corruption behind that. And maybe reach for a mango instead. Maybe reach
for coconut bacon. Make your own freaking bacon.
Make your own bacon. Freaking yeah.
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 Instead of the ones with 100 ingredients.
Right. And if you wanna do a transitional phase, how about transition into making your own bacons or raw vegan patties?
You can even make raw vegan coconut bacon in a dehydrator, and it's crunchy and it's tasty. You just put
And it's even better because it doesn't trick our brains into thinking it's animal flesh. Because why, if we want to do better for the animals, why do we want to be playing brain tricks on us and on our body, saying, bringing up those memories and making an illusion and basically tricking our body that this is flesh and secretion and egg product or eggs. We don't want to be fooling and lying to ourselves. Anytime that's eaten is a lie to ourselves, and it's a confusing thing. And they are very scared and confused, and the cells are trying to figure out what this is, because it seems like meat, but it's not, but it's kind of plants, but it's all isolated, and soy and corn and grains. Look, I have not eaten grains in about 7 years. I do not touch soy. I do not touch these different monoculture crops that are, because I have studied environmental science. I know what monoculture crops do to the lands and to the animals of that land. And so I support a permaculture fruit forest a garden that's permeating through the ethers of this earth. Like, that's what we support. Right. We want people to grow fruits again. We're going to eventually be growing a lot of fruit trees.
Fruit forests.
Planting
fruit forests.
Green energy wholeness.
Restoring back to our something
from our raw and real song.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, let's do this together. Reach out to us. Get support and help. We're there for us. We understand you. We're here to unite, whether it's the farmers or the carnivores or the vegans or the fruitarians. We can all come together and say enough is enough with this tinkering of our food supply and this chemicalization of food-like products. Enough is enough with being polluted and poisoned. Enough is enough with our precious earth and the animals and wildlife being tortured and killed and poisoned. And we can do better. We can be truly ethical and healthy and environmentally conscious with the raw living foods. Get back to the raw living, amazing, wonderful fruitfulness of life. And we love you and we thank you. Yes. And we are here to support you, and Absolutely. We are here to not judge, but instead open to arms. Unite people, open arms, give us an amazing hug. And yeah, I mean, I'm Anecia Earth Creature.
And I'm Juicy Justine, if you know what I mean.
And thank you so much, Justine. I adore you. And thank you for this.
You're so knowledgeable and such a genius. And I'm so glad we're speaking out about such a concern that, you know, is in the movement, and being more raw and real with everybody and giving this info out there.
Right. Because we're here out of love. We're here out of care. We're not here to say, like, you're doing awful things and stop that. Like, yeah, if you're doing awful things, then we can do better, and we can stop the behaviors that have caused these different habits and creating sicknesses in ourselves. Like, let's get healthy together. Let's be fruitful. Let's be joyful. Let's be out in nature, barefoot in the sunshine and in the water, and promote true sustainability, because mango and fruits and veg, they don't need spokespersons or business people to be like, look, I promise you this is sustainable. We already know it is deep and down inside. So any company that needs adverts and different words and all these different websites and promotions and celebrities, that automatically is a red flag. It's a red flag, because true food, healthy food, doesn't need all that nonsense. It's just, it's all waste of money, waste of resources, waste of water, waste of time, and waste of our health. And let's promote vitality.
That energy could be going into things that could bring us vitality.
Yeah, through like good, healthy eating and vitality and growing fruit trees and homesteading and returning back to the land and being truly sustainable. That's what's sustainable, but it doesn't sell in the mainstream narrative of this business model. So the business model of vegan junk food and that, vegan patties or they're not vegan, but that's what they call them, or plant-based patties in McDonald's and Burger King.
Trying to fool our minds.
That's progress, right? That's not progress. That's not progress. That's the degeneration of society that's causing the same sicknesses and illnesses that we've seen for decades from animal products. Because look, that list of ingredients I read, the oils and the isolates and the grains, and that is not our human species-specific diet. Our species-specific diet, based on our anatomy, biology, physiology, and chemistry, are fruits and greens and herbs and water. Good, spring, clean, healthy water. That is our constitution of our body. That is what we can bring into it. Anything else is just
junk.
Media, and it's just from promotion, and it's indoctrination, and it's what we're doing to the children. What are we doing to the children by teaching them? Yes. It's like we're teaching them, to eat the flesh, and then they grow up, and then maybe they go vegan and try the vegan burgers, and then they stay in that realm of sickness, destruction, and debilitation. That's all still there. They don't break free, actually, ever. If you remain in the vegan junk food world, you're not breaking free from sickness and unethical behavior and environmental destruction. So let's break free. Let's liberate ourselves. Let's love ourselves. Let's love the animals better. Let's be better advocates for the animals. Let's wear loud and proud that we are frugivores and be joyful and heal and detox and cleanse and get back to the roots and get back to nature and who we are. And
Absolutely.
here we are.
And here we are.
We love you.
That.
And thank you for listening again. And you're amazing. And we support you and we believe in you.
You can do it.
And you can do it.
If we could do it, you could do it.
Yes. Because we've been through stuff. We've had a lot of food addictions. We've we've felt really ill in the past. We struggled. We struggled to
and we have empathy
and
compassion for the animals as well.
Yes. We're here to make a stand for the animals, not against the animals, for the animals, because the animals, just like we are, and all the creatures of creation, want us to be healthy and well, and we want to unite and live beautifully together, and that's the goal. Yeah. So
and so it is.
So I really hope and pray, because I'm really concerned of where veganism is heading, with new creations created every few months, new food-like products, new types of bacon and eggs and cheese and meats that are mock. And I get concerned that that's the path many people are choosing to go and stay in. And so this is a plead to society and humanity to return to the roots of fruits and greens and veg and herbs and water, and that's where we're at. That's where true essence of veganism is. That's where the original essence of fruitarianism and veganism and health really is residing. So that's just remember that. McDonald's does not care about the animals. Burger King does not care about the animals. If you're seeing, I don't celebrate.
Chick-fil-A is not about the animals.
Right. I don't celebrate when I see plant-based patties being sold there, because literally that money is then going to chop up meat and put it into rancid oil. Like, do I want to be putting my money into that when I can literally spend that money on a beautiful purchase of a fruit basket?
Yeah.
Like, wake up.
Let's spend it on that.
Let's spend it on that. Let's put our money where it counts. Let's vote with our dollar and not vote for these Mr. Brown and these different Khosla Ventures and Rodrigo Batista. We see you, okay? Yeah. We know what you're doing, and we're not falling for it, okay? We chose not to go that way, Mr. Gates. Okay. Okay, no, heck no. Gross, okay. So, yeah. So,
100%.
Please do more. Please do all your research, and yes, instead of beyond meat, we are beyond you, beyond meat. We are, it's impossible what you're doing, Impossible Burgers. We don't agree with it or consent to it, or Gardein or Kellogg's y'all are fools. We're not here for that, and we know that you don't.
We know better.
We know better, and we can do better, and we're doing better, and we're here to promote love, wellness, vitality, detoxification, and joy, and true joy, and that goes back to the plants. Eat whole, good, lovely raw plants, and you'll do amazing.
It's all connected.
It's all connected. And that's the way to take care of the earth and animals. That's the true, ultimate, beautiful, empathetic way to be. Don't be co-opted by these corporations. Don't give in to their lies and their deception. Let's show what a true path of veganism, of empowered, health-conscious, beautiful, fruitful veganism looks like, and be a role model and a good representation like we are being. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We love you. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's our news.
Sending so much love to you all. We're here for you. Reach out to us. I love you. I see you. We can do better. We're in this together. And let's continue to promote goodness and wholeness and fruitfulness for the animals, for our health, and for the environment.
The Holy Trinity.
Bless up.
Bless up.
Anecia, earth creature.
Juicy Justine, if you know what I mean.